Good day, everyone. This morning, I would like to introduce to you this person, which I found her capability and ability in teaching language or ESL teacher. She has experience in teaching Chinese students, and she is also a student from Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. Let's welcome Miss Jeremy Ababa. I'm going to ask her questions to differentiate as well the teacher-centered approach and learner-centered approach. So keep updated. Again, help me welcome Miss Jeremy Ababa. She is English second language teacher. Thank you, Miss Jeremy, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you or to ask an interview from you. And it's really meant a lot for me. And a lot of questions that I'm going to ask from you later.
Yes, hello. Good morning, Miss Antoinette. How are you today? Oh, that's great. Okay. Oh, before we will proceed to our question and answer, please allow me to give some overview of myself, particularly in my work. As you mentioned earlier, I'm an aspiring teacher. I took up a Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. In fact, I'm now in my third year of college. And currently, I am working while studying or studying while working. I work as an ESL teacher for a company called Akadsa. My students are Chinese, starting from the age of 3 years and up. And by the way, Akadsug is an online platform, meaning I am teaching through online.
Thank you, Miss Jeremy, for introducing yourself. And this is your first question to differentiate teacher-centered approach and learner-centered approach. But before that, I'm going to give you a point of view in my own idea as well. As we all know that teacher-centered approach, wherein the teacher in here is the center in this approach. To the teacher presents an information to the students or learners. The teacher or the lecturer or students learned from the teacher's strategies or techniques. And a learner-centered approach as well. This is the learners bring their own knowledge. They talk about their past experiences. They have also given the impacts in how they learn from the new information and how to develop their own skills. So, in your own, what is your idea about teacher-centered approach and learner-centered approach and how you will differentiate that? Okay?
So basically, teacher-centered approach, in my opinion, is an approach, of course. So from the word itself, teacher-centered. So the center of learning here, the acquisition, is the teacher. The teacher here is encouraging his or her students to only focus on him or her when imparting knowledge. So therefore, the teacher here is the source of knowledge. While when we talk about learner-centered approach, is an approach as well, which focusing on both parties or both sides, the students and the teachers. So not only the teacher here is imparting knowledge, but also the students. The students can learn from the teacher, and the teacher is also learning from his or her students. Am I right? Okay, that would be my opinion about the teacher-centered approach and learner-centered approach.
This is the second question that I'm going to ask from you. What are the materials used when you teach your students?
Okay, when teaching my students, most of my materials are actually customized, because yes, I really love to customize materials, because it will not only save my money, but it will, based on my experience, my students really appreciate my effort, my time in making those materials, my talent as well in art. And at the same time, it will make your material unique from the other. That's why I really love to customize materials. And as much as I can, as much as possible, I will only buy some flashcards when I think it's needed, and toys as well, because most of my students are kids. That's why I considered toys as materials in teaching, because kids are really fond, as we all know, kids are really fond of playing, so toys is also part of materials. And what else? Yes, the of course the PowerPoint presentation provided by the company, the company that I worked with. So those materials that I have mentioned really helped me a lot when teaching, because it will really catch the attention, the interest of my students to engage in my class.
The third questions: what strategies and techniques to keep up with effective learning with your students?
Yes, I can't really deny the fact that sometimes I'm having hard time dealing or teaching my students, because it's online class or online teaching. So the control that I have is very limited. That's why what we call the strategies. So the strategies that I have been using. The first one is actually putting together the nonverbal and verbal communication. I use them together while speaking, while discussing. I also use nonverbal communication, which is the gestures. While speaking, while discussing with my students, I also use my gestures. Like, for example, when I will say to my students, "Can you hear teacher?" Yes, I will also do like this. So it's really, really helpful for me to use them together to make my students they are Chinese, and it's their first time to acquire new knowledge, new language. So we need to have this gestures for them to easily remember, right? When it's their time to speak, or to when they are having hard time as well to speak in English. So they have options to execute, like when they are having hard time to say here. So they don't need to make force themselves to speak the word. So they only need to do like that. So, and also I really need to exaggerate my movements. That's the second thing that I'm using as a strategy, because when there is a dancing activity or singing activity, I really need to do it myself, and I will encourage my students to participate and to sing or to dance as well, like teacher. So I think that's all I have been using. That's all I have been using in teaching my students, to have to make my students engage in my class, and to make my class as lively as possible. So that's it.
This is the last questions. As an ASL teacher, which do you prefer? Teacher-centered approach or learner-centered approach? Why?
Yeah, I would prefer the learner-centered approach because there is an interaction between the two, which is the students and the teachers. And if there is an interaction between the two, therefore the acquisition is effective. And actually, almost everyone is using this kind of approach. That's all.
Thank you so much for giving me again this opportunity to have an interview from you. It's my pleasure. It's my gratitude to thank you a lot. And these chances that you give to me today is really essential for me. And this part of the interview really learns a lot, not only me, but also for the learners who can watch this video. Thank you so much, and once again, good day.